Oh, you know the feeling. You're listening to The World Today. Not that feeling. The feeling of driving behind someone who is going too slow in the left-hand lane, even though it says, slow traffic, please keep right. It's called speed variance, and it is a serious danger on the road. Ian Tootill is the co-founder of SENSEBC. They advocate for laws and enforcement designed to improve safety, traffic flow, and efficiency, and some very interesting goings-on when it comes to speed variance and some of our traffic laws. Hello, Ian. How are you?
Mike, I'm great, thanks.
Well, thanks for coming in. Let's talk, first of all, about what's been going on, I guess, a little bit behind closed doors the last little while when it comes to some of our speed limits and speed limit reviews here.
Well, yeah, the provincial government initiated a speed limit review last fall, and we expect that sometime over the next coming weeks we'll see the results of that review. And as you probably know, in the fall, the public were invited to a series of open houses, and input was asked for online as well as at the open houses. And all kinds of things were discussed besides speed limits. And keep right except to pass is one of the things that we believe is something that should be instituted in BC on the roads.
It's the frustration expressed on roads by people when they feel like something is being done wrong is, I mean, that's really at the root of this. We have to figure out a way to have people manage that anger better, but also a system that keeps that anger from happening. Right.
Well, I guess in a more macro sense, I think what we need to do is look at a different concept in terms of managing driving in BC. When you drive in Europe, it's quite apparent that there's a different mindset on the roads there. There's more of an attitude of teamwork. That's something that's missing here. There's kind of an adversarial relationship that vehicle owners seem to have in their cars and trucks over here. So we'd like to see more teamwork. We'd like to see people encouraging traffic flow, doing their part to keep the flow of traffic and reduce speed variance. And keep right except to pass is part of that.
And I'm guessing that enforcement is part of how we get people towards that teamwork.
Well, you know me. I'm like you. In a lot of ways, less is more. I'd rather have less laws than more laws. But unfortunately, the culture here is so ingrained that, if the education part of it doesn't work and the signage doesn't work, the police need to have some teeth to back it up.
Absolutely. We're going to continue this conversation with Ian Tootill from SENSEBC. The phone lines will be open, 280-9898. If you're simmering in traffic right now and you want to talk about one of the issues, we will be taking phone calls as well. You've got it on The World Today. You've got it on The World Today. My name is Mike Eckford, filling in for John McComb, co-founder of SENSEBC. Ian Tootill joining us. SENSEBC advocate for laws and enforcement designed to improve safety, traffic flow, and efficiency. And we are talking about, speed variance, but left lane hogs. Now, how much of a problem is this in terms of traffic accidents and difficulties that they cause on the road?
It's very difficult to quantify, actually, how often left lane bandits are responsible for crashes. There's an interesting video that I just posted on the SENSEBC Facebook page that shows a crash that happened last summer in Langley. And it's such a graphic illustration of what the problem is. But speed variance is a known cause of crashes. Speed in itself is not. But it stands to reason that people interrupting the flow of traffic, particularly the ones that are in the left-hand lane when they're not supposed to be, are causing variance, and they're increasing interactions between cars.
We have a keep right except to pass. You see the signs all over the place.
Right.
Is there is it a trafficable offense?
No.
Okay.
So we have, until 2006, we had signs throughout BC that said slower traffic, keep right, which were meaningless.
Yeah, right.
And it took a meeting or two with Kevin Falcon to convince him that it was time to change those signs and put in keep right except to pass, which were more definitive. However, we also lobbied for some legislation to back it up, and we were unsuccessful. And, we're still lobbying for that. We have a section of the Motor Vehicle Act, Section 150, that, vaguely sort of refers to keeping to the right. The problem is that when the police have tried to charge motorists in the past under that section, they go to court and the JPs basically throw it out because it's vague. The wording's vague, essentially.
Do we have any sense of why there's a hesitation? Is this just trying to get a bureaucracy to move?
Well, I can speculate on why, and I've had conversations with people about why.
Speculate away.
Yeah, I'll speculate. We've got I like to call BC's traffic safety initiatives kind of suck and blow. You know, we build these high-speed highways. We spend a ton of money on high speed, and faster is better for transportation. And then we basically clobber everybody with these, you know, in some cases, ridiculous speed limits.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that some of the people, particularly the previous superintendent of motor vehicles, Steve Martin, who we had several conversations with about keep right except to pass, they don't want to do it because they don't want to be seen as sending a mixed message about you know, speed, right?
Right,
I mean,
right.
how can you be saying on one hand speed is killing us,
right,
and in the next breath almost be, you know, sanctioning people to go as fast as they want in the left-hand lane? That's kind of the mindset. But to give the present administration and people in Victoria credit, you know, this group post the last election under Minister Todd Stone has done a great job of at least getting the ball rolling and initiating the right conversations.
Let's sneak in a quick phone call. We've got Sean in Abbotsford. Sean, are you sitting in traffic right now?
Yeah, I'm just coming out of it. I just wanted to say I couldn't agree with Ian more about bringing in laws about fining people that are dawdling in the left-hand lane. That is very frustrating. One of the things that really bothers me is that they say speed kills. If that was a fact, then the people that race for a living, they'd all be dead. That is a very stupid term. It's a variance. It's you get people that are, you know, they're driving slow in the left lane. They're, you know, everyone's passing. If they could bring in a law that teaches people that unless you're passing, get on the right. It's also you're being courteous to the people. It's a better flow when you have people, they know what to do. And they should actually be teaching this in driving schools. They don't do that. I think they fail to teach people that when you're driving on the freeway, you should have a mentality that you should stick to the right, and then if you got to pass, use the left-hand lane. If they just got a simple law like that, I think it would really alleviate all the problems that we're seeing out there.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. Ian, you know, that goes right back to one of the first things you said, which is consideration for your fellow drivers, working together.
Yeah. You know, if you taught that in a macro sense, people would do so much more thinking when they're driving. I mean, I see people make turns, say, onto a right-hand lane somewhere, and they take 2 lanes to do it. You know, if they thought at all about the carnage or the repercussions of what they're doing, they just wouldn't do that, and other things.
All right, we're going to continue on with Ian Tootill, of course, co-founder of SENSEBC. You've got it on The World Today. My name is Mike Eckford, filling in for John McComb. And it is 16 degrees downtown. Yes, I am Mike Eckford. Get it right this time. I had to blow one of these today. I wanted to leave something for McComb to feel good about. Well, still better than that little punk. We are talking about rules of the road, speed variance. We've had a caller on the line for quite some time. I want to make sure I get him in. So, Bob, South Surrey. Bob, are you in traffic right now, or are you free for the day?
I'm just kind of through it. I want to talk about the area south on 99 through the tunnel and just past it. Absolutely agree that, you know, people are, well, some are just clueless, but people are actually getting quite militant. So several times I travel this route routinely in non-business traffic hours. You know, people will slow down, and it's 60, you know, 80 is kind of the norm through the tunnel. It's 100 through that section. People typically do 120. I come up behind people in the left-hand lane. I'll give them a flash of my lights. I've got fairly bright lights. This is late at night. And they wait till I get right behind them, and they'll actually slam on their brakes, knowing that, you know, so you talk about accidents caused. Who'd be blamed for that? It would be me. But here's a gentleman, and I don't flash if there's someone in the right-hand lane. I'm not going to make them move over to get out of my way. You know, I'm patient. I'll wait. But I'm literally saying there's no cars in the road. There's a guy in the left-hand lane.
Yeah.
And I've got to move over, and sometimes they even cut you off.
Bob, great point. Really appreciate it. Ian, you know, that's part of it, too. If we don't have intelligent rules of the road, it does become up to people, individual drivers, to try and force some sort of rule onto the situation. How arbitrary are our decisions when it comes to, you know, traffic enforcement and speed limits?
Well, you know, enforcement is not entirely arbitrary. They, you know, the RCMP over time has shown us evidence that they, you know, they pick and choose their areas, okay, based on crash data, okay? But the speed limits themselves, there's a list of criteria that the Department of Transportation publishes on their site and on their Facebook page. And in our opinion, it's much too complicated. There's a methodology which is promoted by the Institute of Transportation Engineers. It's using the 85th percentile to measure the speed and set the speed limit at. And it takes into account the driver behavior and on the assumption that the drivers are in the best position to determine what the correct travel speeds are.
Right. Makes sense.
It's simple.
Ian, thank you. Really appreciate it. You can go to sensebc.ca, www.sense.bc.ca. I'm sure many of you stewing in traffic are probably familiar with that website, but go and check it out. Ian, thank you. Real pleasure.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you.
All right, you've got On the World Today.